All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the June 4, 2024 meeting of the Orange Town Plan and Zoning Commission. I am Commissioner Ozzie Parenti, and with us this evening,
Tom Tarenti.
Paul Kaplan.
Jenny Bowser.
Bonnie Syatt.
Kevin Cornell.
Judy Smith.
Jack Demerjen, zoning administrator.
all right, good. Full house for the commission tonight. All right, let's get right to it. First item on the agenda, review of the minutes from the April 16, 2024, and also the May 21, 2024 meetings. Now, we already reviewed April 16th and requested a few changes which are in
Correct.
the package we have for tonight. So those should be all right, but the thing was that at the last meeting, we only had, Tom and I
We had three members,
and Kevin.
present, but we
But-
couldn't make a motion and second the motion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. So for the April 16th, everyone was in attendance at that meeting except Kevin. But then when it came time to vote, we didn't have either Judy or Paul. So we didn't have enough to vote on the minutes. So if everybody's had a chance to look those over, and they have, because we did suggest some changes, we can entertain a motion to approve them.
I'll make a motion to approve the April 16th minutes.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to approve. It's been seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, so, and one abstention, right. Okay. And as to the May 21 minutes, I had just a couple little things. Under old business, third line, they are replacing the tanks as required. I would just put in the underground storage tanks. I think that's what we're talking about there, right? And on the line,
I'm sorry, while we're on that line.
Yeah.
So they're replacing the underground storage tanks with no change to the canopy, comma, number of pumps or tanks.
okay, good.
Because
Yeah.
the pumps would be an important concern
Yeah.
to the neighbors.
All right, let's make that change. Is that July 1 date correct
Correct, yep.
for the ZBA
Yeah,
meetings?
'cause they're on the first Monday of every month.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, it was, but the ZBA canceled their meeting for June.
Correct. for
Okay,
June,
oh,
yes.
so July is
So our
correct.
next regularly scheduled meeting will be July 1.
All right. I had nothing else on the 521 meeting minutes.
Just one minor thing, Jenny, in the last paragraph, we should probably have the word commissioner before Parenti, second to last line.
Okay.
All right. Do we have a motion to approve the May 21 minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the May 21st, 2024 minutes as amended.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And 2 abstentions.
And 2 abstentions. All right, Paul and Judy. Okay. All right, next item on our agenda is old business. Anything under old business that anybody wishes to bring up? All right. Under new business, item 3, Jack identified the plan of conservation and development bids. I was thinking we'd have a discussion about those and hopefully make a pick tonight, get that going. Well,
No, well. So first, at the end of the meeting, if you guys got a chance to watch it or familiarize yourself, 3 solid presentations on point for the scope of work that we presented to them. Jack was going to follow up on some of their references. Because at the end of the day, how well they work with people who are similarly situated to us, could be a deciding, a factor. Were you able to get in touch with anybody, sir?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. Keep in mind, a couple of these companies haven't done many POCDs, so I was
Correct.
fairly, limited on who we were reaching out to. They all really had good references. I'm gonna kind of start in the order that we went to. So H&H, I was able to get a hold of someone from West Haven. It was a plan done in 2017, but they had really good things to say about Neil, who was one of our presenters there. He was part of a group at the time called NV5, and they were really happy with the product that they got. They said that they had great public outreach and communication. The town was never left waiting on a response or anything like that. I was also able to get in touch with Westport. This was kind of an odd plan because it was their downtown master plan, so it was not a POCD, but it was not endorsed by the P&Z Commission. It was something that was more put together by their Board of Selectmen, and the P&Z specifically stayed out of it for some reason. And I was able to talk to the Public Works Director, because he was really the only one still in Westport who was there in 2015. So it wasn't really a ton to go off of, but again, he remembers them being, very well put together. He liked, what the product came out to be. But again, keep in mind, he really was not the face of this project, but he was able to give me some information.
I
Other
thought
than-
that, I thought that with them, they had some very good ideas about engaging the community.
I thought so as well. I really thought Neil and the woman who presented with him, I'm blanking on her, Sarah, did a really good job.
I particularly like that idea of giving it like a logo and,
Sort of marketing it,
yes, yeah, so that you make sure that, people had a chance. And were interested, engaged in trying to, in the project.
Absolutely, yeah. I remember when I was speaking with the representative from West Haven, they said they did really well and capitalized on those town events. So they went and set up their booths, and I think it worked well for them. So that's H&H. BFJ was our second presenter. I think it's BFJ.
Yeah.
They were
BFG, G, I think.
BFJ on the cover.
Really?
Amend the minutes.
Amend the minutes.
They were the ones with the most references, and I really, was impressed with what people had to say about them. Let me get there. Stamford Master Plan, they said that the bang for their buck that they got from them was really, really good. They were very impressed with the team that they had. I was able to get a hold of Newtown as well, because they were, in my opinion, a little more comparable to us. They were really impressed with Thomas Madden, who was one of our presenters here, sitting at the table. Did fantastic outreach. And if we remember, he was very familiar with our area. I think he lives in Stratford and has worked for several municipalities in the area. So I did get a certain level of comfort with that, being that they do not the vast majority of POCDs, but compared to the other two companies, they definitely have a lot more of a stable track record. So I thought they were very good. I reached out to White Plains, New York. They're in the middle of their comprehensive plan. It has not been approved yet, but they said they kind of put them through the ringer with revisions, and they've kind of handled it in stride. So they were very happy with that. Let's see. Was not able to get a hold of Trumbull, but Wilton Center Master Plan, they, again, were very, very happy with it. They said they were flexible, they were responsive, and were very happy with their finished product there. And on to Colliers. Again, Colliers didn't have too many POCD-specific plans that they have done. One that they cited for us was the Coastal Resiliency Plan for Clinton, Westbrook, Old Saybrook, and the borough of Fenwick. I was able to get a hold of Peter from the town of Westbrook. He's very happy with the plan, and because it's 4 towns together, he was really impressed with their outreach. We'll say the only thing that he mentioned is about halfway through their plan, their main point of contact left to go to another company. So somebody else came in, and they didn't sound like they were really thrilled about that. But as far as the actual work getting done, they, had great things to say. There was really no bad referrals here. I mean, it was really overall positive. That thing was really the only negative that I got out of all. And it's really not a negative. It's just it is what it is. The comprehensive plan from Parenton, New York, they were a little bit bigger of a place than Orange is, but still glowing recommendation about community outreach. So they did really well. They were, again, very responsive. They said they were well-rounded and didn't need a partner. Like, I think it was just BFJ has partners with Urbanomics. Colliers, because they're kind of they do a full-service company. They do engineering, architecture, things like that. They're really the only ones we're dealing with. So again, a great referral from there. And let's see. I think that's a lot of what I had. Like I said, it was really all very positive referrals. No one had anything really bad to say. I kind of expressed specifically community outreach. The final product, were they really happy with it? Graphics, was it visually appealing? Marketing this as an idea to the public, trying to get responses. And everyone said that they were really pleased with these companies and the data that they were able to collect and put together.
All right, good. I mean, I reviewed all the proposals, and I thought they were all, on point in terms of what we were looking for. And,
Yeah,
and
just
it's-
one last thing. The finance department did let me know because we allotted the $100,000 for this. If we do end up going with somebody over that, it's fine. We do just have to go in front of, or me, the finance board, and basically just clear that, we are gonna be X amount of dollars over that budget off the bat, just because that's what things cost nowadays. So I just wanna make everyone, aware of that.
Jack, it's a pretty minor item, but I noticed that BFJ and Colliers
Flash.
didn't say anything about reimbursable expenses, which were about $2,000 in H&H's, so.
Yeah, it's
Just to be
a
aware
good
of
question, yeah.
Yeah, all right, well, I mean.
And I think BFJ was our low bid. I mean,
Yeah,
it
they
was
were
between-
100.
Yeah, between 100 and, it was like 128,000, I think, or 126.
128 was Colliers.
Colliers, yeah. So something to keep in mind as well.
And what was the H&H was 102 or something?
Yeah, it was just over.
102,720.
Yes.
Well, they were actually the same 100 as BFJ.
But
But they showed the
yeah.
reimbursables.
Yeah. Like I said, I thought the proposals were all well put together, and I
They all
thought
did a
their
great job.
presentations were all good.
Yeah.
I don't think we could make a mistake with, hiring any one of the 3 to do the project. I think the one concern I have with H&H goes to a question that Tom asked of them, and that was, it sort of seemed like they hadn't done a lot of plans of conservation and development. And that was what I got from their answer to your question. So, I don't know, I would be maybe just a little hesitant about H&H for that reason. And to me, BFJ seemed like they do more of this than any of the proposals, any of the bidders.
They had more recent referrals that I could call to. I mean, they have several that are in the works, right now. On the trailing off, kind of being voted on their final revision, but they had more up-to-date references.
Right. And, BFJ is the low bid, so, I mean, I think that like I said, it's close, but I personally would favor BFJ, given what I've seen at this point. I don't know, Judy, you get a chance to
Yeah,
look
I
through it?
watched the meeting live, and if I had a rank, I would do BFJ 1, H&H 2, and Colliers 3, based upon experience and presentation.
I did like, her name was Lawler, her last
Debbie,
name. I
yep.
thought she was very, very.
She had
good.
glowing recommendations as well. I will say Jacob.
For Colliers.
For Colliers, yeah. Jacob was kind of the one that I've been dealing with, so I don't know how much of a hand, they would have if he's the one running. I don't know. But Debbie had very, very good references.
I came to, well, not in the same order, the similar conclusion that, BFJ seemed to be, that this was very businesslike, this is what they do every day. They have a functioning, methodology. They looked at what we had and they thought that that was a good springboard, and that's something we're all comfortable with, I believe. Not that it has to follow that exact format, but that seemed to cover a lot of our concerns, so to speak. So I would have, I lean towards them also as the consultant.
Yeah, I thought the Neil guy was very impressive, but based on experience, BFJ has just they do it every day, as you said.
Yeah.
Tom, you in agreement?
I'm in agreement, yeah.
All right, do we need a vote? All right, it sounds like everybody's in. All right, then, are we prepared to put it to a vote at this point? I don't, no reason to belabor
I mean,
it.
there's no other information we feel we need Jack to gather from,
No, I think it would be prudent to have some small buffer for whether it's reimbursable expenses or we need to send them down a particular rabbit hole we didn't know about. So if we got, but is that something you go for after, or you get an approval of up to, say,
We had something
100?
like this the last time, didn't we? With Glenn?
where we needed a little more.
What was what did he, do you have that, were they on the last page on the BFJ?
Yeah, there's no line item for it.
It's
No,
just
the other one,
100.
On H&H there was.
Just a flat 100.
Flat 100, but there's no,
He's got all the
no,
scope items.
no notation as to plus expenses or,
I
Excuse
mean, we
me.
could
No.
take a vote tonight, you could always ask them that question, and we also know anything north of 100, you have to go back to Board of Finance.
Right, I just have to clear with the Board of Finance,
It
which I don't
was-
think is gonna be a problem, but
No, and I don't know why I thought it was, we had something like that with Glenn last time, but total expenses for H&H, they gave 2,500, and it was travel, reproductions, supplies, and miscellaneous, totaling 2,500.
I believe I specifically asked a question of, is this the number for the end product? And the answer was yes.
Yes. Okay.
But
so when we select them, I imagine they'll submit their contract,
right, and then we'll look at
which will
think
get
so, yeah.
reviewed by Vinnie and signed off on by whoever.
I would think
signs
so,
such-
right?
Okay.
Right.
So we'll get another look at it at that point, if,
Oh, yeah, no, this,
if that
us
says plus
taking the vote is not us
expenses.
signing the contract, so
Right,
there's,
right.
we definitely will have a chance to, ask any questions and, clarify anything we want before we sign the dotted line.
And Glenn was out because of what he had said to us in terms of cutting back?
It must have been,
Yeah.
he didn't submit.
Couldn't,
his,
that he wasn't,
Right.
it wasn't that he didn't like us.
Yeah, no, I don't think it was anything like that. I think, based on what he had said, he was kind of trying to scale back a little bit, so he didn't end up submitting.
Yeah.
You looking for a motion?
Yeah, unless there's any further discussion. No, go ahead.
I'll move that we approve a contract be entered into for the Orange Plan and Conservation Development 2025? Is that what it is? Well, whatever,
I don't know what the date.
yeah, but
I mean, for-
with
for-
BFJ Planning.
All right, we have a motion to, that will allow us to notify BFJ Planning that they're selected to help us with the revision of our current plan of conservation and development. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, it's been seconded. Commissioner Smith, all those in, any further discussion? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay. So you'll let them know that,
Will do, yes, and I'll let the other bidders know that we're very appreciative of them putting in
Yeah.
the time and efforts. And like Mr. Chairman said, I don't think we could have gone wrong with any of them.
no,
but,
definitely not.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, then, Jack, do you have anything to report under item 4 of our agenda?
I got a couple things. ABF Freight, 62 Carlson, we approved a site plan maybe 6 to 8 months ago now. They're pretty close to completion. They're looking to get their CO. It's a trucking company, so it's mainly pavement. So they are finishing up over there. And then something just to make everyone aware of, the Amazon facility at 2 and 48 Boston Post Road, the actual work would be going on it at 2, which is the old Sam's Club. They are looking to go fully electric with their fleet. So they are in the process of trying to design and figure out all of the charging stations that are going to be there. So that's something that, you know, the building department has kind of been working with on them. There really wouldn't be too much for us to review unless other site alteration was being proposed with them.
It's not, is it allowed in that zone? A charging station, or do we have to amend?
It's not it's like one you'd find, you know, in a parking space at a restaurant. You know, just each parking space would have a charger for an electric vehicle. So in the past, because we've been seeing a lot of these pop up at restaurants and things
I've
like
seen it,
that,
yeah.
it's really not a site change. I mean, they have to pull permits with the building department as,
Okay.
you know, everyone does. But unless they're doing regrading or paving or something like that, it's not something that, you know, we require review. I still ask them to give me a plan,
Yeah.
just to do it.
How about if they have to build an electrical substation?
Site alteration.
Then they
Yeah.
do
They should
that.
Come in and,
Require a site
Yep.
plan, I would think.
That's what I,
Right. About how
I would
many?
think so. I mean, well, that's the thing. I'm not even sure UI is putting the clearance on it to send all that power there. I think that's kind of where the holdup is. Granted, this wouldn't be happening for years and years, but the building department made me aware of it, as did Amazon as well. But just something to, you know, bring to everyone's attention. They are looking to go fully electric.
And would the fire marshal be in?
Oh, yes,
Okay.
yeah. It's fire and building are really, and the fire marshal, you know, he's not thrilled with electric vehicles because there's just not a whole lot of knowledge about.
In a fire situation.
Exactly,
Yep.
right.
Yep.
Especially, you know, if they're gonna be inside or something like that. So that's definitely the area of concern there.
Okay.
Other than that, I don't have too much. The only other thing is, Firelight, I think, has around 10 units left to rent. So they certainly went quick, yeah.
Wow.
10 out of,
Out of 72.
yes,
Yeah, so around 10 are left for rent.
wow.
Have the retail uses on the first floor? been-
Not yet. No, I haven't heard anything about it yet, yeah. The tenants, or the fit outs are there, but they don't want to do too much, because depending on who goes in, they're gonna have to do more work. But, no, I'm not aware of, who those users will be yet.
Okay, that's good. All right, anything else for Jack? All right, then, we have one item for public hearing tonight. It's item number 5 on our agenda. Paul, do you have the notice? Would you read it for us, please?
All right. Notice is hereby given. Nope.
Seconds. Notice is hereby given that on Tuesday, June 4, 2024, at 7 p.m. at the Orange Town Hall, 617 Orange Center Road, the Orange Town Plan and Zoning Commission will conduct a public hearing on the following: an application for the conversion of a single-family dwelling to accommodate an elderly apartment, submitted by, oh boy, Ms. Lou, Mr. Lou? I don't know.
Mr. Lou.
Mr. Lou. Okay, sorry about that. For property known as 440 David Court, to construct an addition to accommodate an in-law apartment. A copy of this notice has been filed with the Orange Town Clerk. Additional information is on file in the Orange Zoning Department, dated in Orange, Connecticut, this 21st day of May, 2024. Sorry about that. Okay.
You can approach.
All right, thank you, Paul. Let me just point out one thing. Tell me what you think of this. I share a portion of the a common boundary with this property. I don't know if anybody thinks that. I mean, I don't think it disqualifies me. I don't know the applicant. But a small portion of the property, my house borders on it in the northwest side of the applicant property. Do you know what I'm talking about? This, up here, it says now or formerly land of Parenti.
Oh,
That's me.
hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I don't see a conflict.
I think that
I'm
answers our
gonna go out on
question.
a limb.
I just want to make sure everybody knows that,
Oh, okay.
that our properties adjoin, and that doesn't present any kind of problem for anybody in terms of me.
As long as there's
hearing
no
the
personal or
applicant.
financial or
Okay.
any interest or anything.
But with that said, then, please, give us your name and go ahead with.
Hi, everyone. My name is Bokai Natali. I reside at 440 David Court, Orange, Connecticut, with my parents, Mr. Jing Shao and Mrs. Shu Ping Lu.
Could you spell your name for me, please?
Of course, B like Bravo, O, K like Kilo, A-I, and Natali, N-A-T-A-L-E.
Thank you.
My husband's Italian. So we have lived in Orange for, oh goodness, probably 20-plus years now. My parents are, of course, aging. My dad's birthday was today, 65 years old.
Happy birthday.
And yes, thank you so much.
Doesn't seem so old.
No, not at all. Nice and young with many, many
He's just a
decades.
kid.
God willing, many decades left to live. So they are, of course, getting a little bit older. They both have, knee issues sometimes, as, comes with older age. And we have lived in this home. Not everyone. Trust me, I'm 32 and I already have knee problems. It's genetic. It's genetic. So, of course, we wanted to make a one-level living just so they don't have to go upstairs often because, like I mentioned, they both have knee issues and so forth. So one-level living is preferable for them, which is why we decided to go out instead of up. I know some in-laws, they tend to do like the over the garage or so forth, so we decided to do the on the main level. We're hoping to get construction, started relatively soon, maybe done before the Christmas time and so forth. I do plan on living in the main home, starting a family soon with me and my husband.
Okay. Any questions of the applicant? The requirement, Jack, that the applicant has to submit an affidavit each year by January 31st. And that is to confirm that the parties,
That they still meet the requirements laid out in the special permit.
so that there's still an elderly person
Correct.
occupying.
Yep.
Okay.
But it doesn't have to.
Does it have to be, I know this one is a family member. Does it always have to be a family member?
We do not specify in the regulations that it has to be related, nor which unit the person of age can occupy.
Interesting. And the side yards here seem to be the same side yards as before, that they're adding it on.
And the main entry for the addition will be, where does that face?
Right on the side of the home, if I may.
Got it.
It will be- I'm terrible directionally.
Here's-
I'm so
here's-
sorry.
It is the north side, yeah. If you look at the floor plan,
Yep,
yes.
so there.
So,
Yes.
Oh, I see, north side right
Yeah.
here. Yes, so the entry will be right at this point.
so it's not shown on the plan, right?
Shown on the floor plans.
Floor plan, but
Yeah.
not on.
I assume that the only entry, I mean, it appeared that the only entry would be through the garage.
There will
They-
be an entry on this side and then an entry on this side as well, facing nearing the deck.
Okay.
Is the bathroom being added?
Yes, there is a full bathroom being added.
Okay, and septic wise, we're okay?
Yes,
They will have to do some septic work
yes. Adding,
pending this, this decision. But they're gonna have to come in for a zoning compliance form. That's when they're gonna be working with the health department.
Right, they have enough reserve.
Correct, but, the sanitarian has signed off on the elderly
Yes.
permit application.
TM Wright would be the one doing the septic, and they would be adding an additional row of the leaching field, but I did confirm tank size is okay.
Yeah, I mean, the requirement, Paul, is all means of ingress and egress from the front of the structure must be limited to existing doorways.
So, yeah,
So
nothing
there's
else in
nothing.
the front.
Yeah, there's nothing facing the front that's being added.
And you also won't be able to see the unit from the front of the home. We're keeping the roof line and everything the same, so this front of the home will remain the same.
Everything looks fine to me. The only thing that comes to mind is, and quite honestly, I don't even think we have a right to ask for it, but I always get concerned architecturally with what it's gonna look like.
We could always, request renderings. I think after speaking with the applicant, it's gonna be uniform to the rest of the home.
Oh, yes, the siding is going to match. Like I mentioned, you won't be able to see it from the front of the home. The front of the home will look exactly the same, and roof line will remain the same. But of course, siding, all of that will match the existing home.
Giving the old people a roof.
Gotta give them a little something.
All right, do you have anything else to add?
Oh, unless you guys have any additional questions for
Doesn't
me?
sound like we have any further questions. All right, I see that there's no one in the audience, so my question is there any public input? It's probably not
I
necessary.
have not received any.
You have received no emails or anything?
No, sir.
Okay, and there was no other municipal officials that had to sign off on?
They did, the only two that had to sign off, which they did, were the sanitarian and, the building official. And myself as wetlands, but that's
All right.
not a problem here.
Okay. Okay, I think we're all set then. Thank
Wonderful,
you.
thank you.
All right, does anybody think we need any further information
You can, stay for now.
to act on the application?
Everything looks fine to me. How's-
I mean,
Exactly what it.
all right, then.
Exactly what it's supposed to, do.
Yeah, well, let's close the public hearing.
So moved?
We have a motion to close the
Second.
public hearing. It's been seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, yeah, I think, Paul, you're exactly right. I mean, I looked at 383-140, and the plan certainly seems to me to meet all the requirements. There's obviously a common wall, floor, or ceiling. It's an architectural unit. And what else? The minimum lot size for a project like this, what's required is, by the regulations, is at least 30,000 square feet. In here, they have 59,600, so I see no problem with that. They've signed, certification or affidavit that the added dwelling unit will be owner occupied during the duration of the special permit, and at least one of the units will be occupied by a person at least 55 years of age or older. And the unit created is not more than 900 square feet. So, we have an area of 895.52. So, I mean, I don't see anything that would prevent us, the doors to the addition don't face the street, so that too is in compliance. As far as this being, a special permit, I mean, we should make findings that it's consistent with our plan of conservation and development, and that it, consistent with our regulations governing special permits. And I think this is obviously something we want to encourage, because we're always looking to have different types of housing, flexibility for, elderly folks, people right out of college, whatever, where it's something, different than the usual, residential subdivision type,
Single-family home.
single-family dwelling, so. So I don't see any problem with this. I mean, it all makes sense to me, and I think it's a good idea. Anybody else?
I support it for the reasons that Ozzy enumerated. This is more of a housekeeping item between Jack and like the town engineer. I'd appreciate on plans having a zoning table that in addition to the, the setback bulk requirements, you had the other bulk requirements, height. If we're not gonna require them to give us elevations of these additions, which I thought was in some of the regulations.
Most of the plans do. We did have to send this survey back once or twice to get those numbers. He did provide what we needed to see, but I agree. I prefer having the whole bulk
Yeah,
bulk
you know,
I
table.
mean,
It
they do,
just
they
makes
do
it easier.
have the ground coverage.
Ground coverage, but, I mean, it's a one-story addition, but if it said, the peak of the roofs,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
We'd
Then
like
you
to see
would
the
know
elevations.
that, it's a two-story house with a one-story garage.
Right.
You're not gonna see it,
The height, it satisfies that, right, right.
It's
a good point.
but that's more of a comment in general as opposed to this specific.
I always prefer to have those two, and like I said, we did kind of have to go back and get these numbers because they weren't provided at first. They kind of just stuck with the numbers that were applicable to this specific
Okay.
application.
How do we,
Follow up with that. What is the next step in order to make that happen next time?
When Jack gets an application, he and the engineer should make sure it has a zoning table on it.
Can is something that you can, I know you're gonna ask them to do it.
Yeah, we can, it doesn't specifically say a
we
zoning
have a
table
lot of-
must be presented. I can tell
Right,
them.
but we have a lot of discretion here.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
and to be honest with you, 99 out of 100 surveyors do that. Some of them just,
Yeah.
you kind of got to pull it out of them.
Well, some of them also don't know, they don't get involved with what the building heights are.
I mean, it's kind of picky, but I mean, the surveyor, the engineer doesn't show the area of the addition.
Yeah, I mean, the information's there if we want to work,
Right.
and also he's calculating the setback.
Well,
Not to the-
that was one item that wasn't beyond my math abilities.
And he's also saying
Length
that
times width.
the setback to the addition's 43 feet, but that's to the building. The little entrance into this addition actually is, 3 or 4 feet wide, so it's less than that. I mean, it's still more than 25, so it doesn't matter,
Right.
but, yeah. Just housekeeping.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right. Unless there's anything further, I entertain a motion on the application.
I'll make a motion, we approve the application for the conversion of a single-family dwelling to accommodate an elderly apartment for a property known as 440 David Court, to accommodate an in-law apartment.
Okay, we have a motion to
Second.
approve. It's been seconded. Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And none opposed. Okay, I think that does it. I think that completes our agenda.
Move to adjourn.
We have a motion to
Second.
adjourn. It's been seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
Good luck with the project.
Thank you.